Hello, and welcome to another episode of Esoteric Yoga. So, I would like to talk to you a little bit about true love since it is Valentine's Day, or at least we have a few more minutes left on Valentine's Day since it's like almost midnight right now. Uh, just had a lot of things to do today. I really wanted to talk earlier, but that just didn't happen. But that's all right. Had a lot of other things going on. Otherwise, no excuses. We're here now. So, what I wanted to talk to you about is true love, the nature of love. So, true love is the real nature of love. And that is something that probably a lot of people might want to dispute, and that's all right. You can take it for whatever you want. But the only love is God's true love. And a lot of people don't have access to that. For one thing, a lot of people have no idea on how to get closer to God. And that is really, really unfortunate because yoga is actually there for us to get closer to God. That is the whole point of yoga. But we've kind of been led to miss the point. And it has a lot to do with a lot of the things that we do with industry standardized yoga. We just have the yoga studio standard activities that we do for yoga, which have been repeated over and over again all over the world. And now this is our understanding of what yoga is. It is a bunch of movements with the body. Sometimes it's some meditation and some breathing practices. And we leave it at that for the most part. We don't really talk about the principles and the observations of yoga. We don't talk about how important those principles and observations of yoga are. And very few people seem to bring up that these principles and observations of yoga very much resemble the 10 Commandments that were brought to us through the Bible. So that is a whole can of worms there. And as we go through filmings and recordings on my channel, we'll be working on unpacking this giant can of worms. Yoga was around before the Buddha. It was around before Jesus Christ. And that's just the way it is. Sorry, folks. You really have got to stop condemning yoga as a satanic thing because it is far from that. It is the most beneficent and helpful and wonderful, beautiful thing for all of humanity. And I'm just gonna break it down by basically reading an essay that I had written here about raising consciousness with yoga, so we can maybe understand a little bit more about the nature of true love. I just want to break this down though before I get into the essay. You do not know what love is if you are a dishonest person. If you lie a lot and you manipulate a lot and you are in a lot of fear and you're afraid of people understanding what you're really doing, you don't want people to know the truth about you, that you've made some mistakes, that you have done some wrong things, and you have a lot of problems with admitting to the wrong things and the mistakes that you've made, and you constantly kind of pile on top of what you have done wrong and where you have misperceived or completely messed up or anything like that, and you're always just kind of covering your tracks and trying to look better, you're always going to experience desire instead of love. And that's just the way that it goes because you're not truly loving yourself. No matter how much you want to say that you are practicing self-love, you are really not loving yourself if you cannot be honest. Especially if you can't be honest with yourself about that you're doing these things that I'm talking about, pretending that you are a better person than you really have been, and it's not that making mistakes or even causing harm to others makes you a bad person. It's just really very destructive for you to be dishonest about those bad or wrong things that you have done. So, we all make mistakes. We all do messed up things every once in a while. This is part of being human and having free will. And, there is always salvation for you as long as you can be honest about what you have done. You always have an opportunity to, okay, maybe not always, all right? So you can look for opportunities to enter safe spaces, emotionally safe spaces, where you can actually confess to things that you've done that haven't been really good, that have weighed heavy on your psyche. And this will make it easier for you to stop drinking so much, kick the drug habits, stop fucking around. Sorry about my language, but a lot of people do that. A lot of people, especially here in New York City, have multiple partners. A lot of and the partners don't know about each other, or they've simply given up monogamy and they've declared that they are non-monogamous. Well, of course you're going to be like this, because you're not even experiencing real love, and you are like constantly on the lookout. You're constantly on the hunt for the better, passionate, and intimate experience, because you're simply not finding love, and your spirit knows that, and you don't quite know that, but you feel something, and you feel something for multiple people. You just don't know what that feeling even is. You may confuse it for love occasionally, but I tell you, you're experiencing desire instead of love. And we can go over this with the map of consciousness with Dr. David Hawkins' help. I happen to have that map of consciousness right in front of me, and I'll just pull it out right now, I guess. So just to show you. So this is the map of consciousness. This is our lovely yoga tool. This is a great yoga prop. It's a little bit bulky. It's a little bit funny, especially since you can't quite see it that well when I have it closed. So I'll have it like this. And it looks like the words are backwards. I don't really know if that's going to change when I upload this, but I'll just tell you right now, love is right up here. And Dr. David Hawkins numbers it at 500. Gosh, it's not very visual right now, but that's all right. The visuals aren't good. Just to give you a rough reference, though, this is way up here. And this is where pride is at. And above that, this is where our empowerment is. So pride is more of like inflation. And then it takes courage to come up into integrity. This is where we're honest. This is where we start to confess the things that we've done that have not been so good. So once we work on actually vocalizing, and your voice is a very, very important aspect of your yoga practice. Your voice is responsible for the upward current of Udana, and Udana actually helps you to ascend. Your ascension relies on your voice, your throat chakra. You will not spiritually develop past a certain point unless you start confessing things you've done that have been not so good. And you have to get over that fear of the consequence of being hated or attacked or reviled or anything like that, or punished for your honesty. It's the total opposite. If you can get around somebody that actually has the capability of loving unconditionally and holding in that space of love. I mean, practice admitting your errors to the dog, to your cat, to your fish, whatever, to a tree. Use your voice and work on confessing your problems, your mistakes. I don't know, maybe saying it to a tree will work it out. I'm not sure. All I know is that I personally experienced my ascension back in 2002 when I started being honest. My Kundalini awakened. All this stuff happened. You cannot get a Kundalini awakening from that KRI stuff, or what is it called? Kundalini activation. Yeah. KAP. Kundalini activation process, right? KRI. I don't know what I'm talking about. KAP. So that's become very popular, the Kundalini activation process. It looks like it just makes you like kind of orgasm or something. It gives you like an energy orgasm. Great. But that's not really Kundalini awakening. I mean, sounds cute and everything like that, but yeah, the Holy Spirit will make you do that. The Holy Spirit is very, very delicious feeling when it moves through your body. It's kind of a byproduct, though, of real yoga. There's just so much to talk about. It's just, I'm trying to focus, really, seriously, I am. So, anyway, we got our love way up here, 500, level 500. Most of us are right down here at the bottom. I'm sorry to say this, Dr. David Hawkins, he says that 80% of the global human population is down here below integrity. So there is no discussion about who has low integrity or high integrity at the end of the day. You either have integrity or you don't. It's like pregnancy. You don't have high pregnancy and low pregnancy. You're pregnant or you're not. You know, the light switch is on or off. It's very much like that here. We've got a line that you've got to get above in order to actually get your empowerment, in order to actually get your transcendence and get your revelation and start to actually really expand your psychic power and become a truly beautiful, happy, loving person. I would love for some of you to meet me up there. I'm kind of lonely. There's not a lot of us. And now I'm celibate. So just saying, you know. But anyway, so God, that laugh, I sounded like a horse, right? Anyway, gotta make fun of myself before you do it, because I know some of you are gonna be watching this and you're gonna be mocking the hell out of me. Great, enjoy that. Just lap it up. You know, I'm not surprised, not in the least. So anyway, so what do we have that's replacing love? I really want to get this out of the way here. What is replacing love? That is desire. And that's amazing. Desire is right below anger. You know, so we got desire, anger, pride. Ooh. So, yeah, I met a guy once and he was down in desire. Desire is an aspect of enslavement. And I thought that, you know, we had a thing going. I thought there was love. Oops. No. Unfortunately, no. You know, that was it. So, a lot of us have got that going on. A lot of us are unable to be honest. We've got a lot of fear going on. And in order to be honest, we have to address the anger that we've got within us. And that is that's really tricky, but it's really important to get through. Most of us, I'm going to just repeat it again, most of us are experiencing desire and not love. There is only one love, one love, one life. Let's get together and feel alright. Because that love is way the hell up here, guys. And I don't know, it's probably above some of your heads, but you can check it out. Look at Dr. David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force. It's an amazing book. So I'm just gonna put this here. And we'll get into this now. So how do we raise our consciousness so that we can actually experience true love, God's true love? Because believe me, if you look for true love in a partner, in that other special someone that could be perfect for you, you're gonna be looking for a very long time probably. That true love is not outside of you. That true love is you loving the truth so much that you're willing to lose friends to your fierce, unwavering honesty by telling people, I've made a mistake, I lied to you, you know, things like that. I did the wrong thing, I misperceived. You know, all these little human normal things we all do that we pretend we don't do. Oh, I don't judge. Well, yes, you probably do judge. And if you don't judge, you might be unable to use your brain completely. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying, you know, you might not have all your cognitive functions happening if you don't judge, because judgment essentially is a basic mental process. You might want to stop lying about that if you want to get into experiencing true love. So, yes, raising consciousness with yoga. Have you ever noticed how much noise there has been made over the years regarding empowering a certain group or community and raising consciousness about certain world problems? Have you ever wondered, where is the data on how to raise our own consciousness? Has it become apparent to you how we have so many spiritual teachers who over generations are very skilled at keeping us aimlessly captivated and fascinated with no practical teachings? What if this is because we aren't actually paying enough attention to that which lowers our consciousness or disempowers us? In Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, there are many secrets of the true nature of yoga that we tend to ignore in favor of asanas. Hey, I do them too. Nothing wrong with asana, you know, but you might want to explore all of yoga, right? Otherwise, you know, what is being taught by 200-hour and 500-hour yoga instructors? Mainly asana and pranayama, right? We tend to conveniently ignore the accomplished yogis who have been studying yoga union for over 12 years, or the ones who have achieved such great power that they are said to be well over 100 years old, and they don't look that old, even. These secrets of yoga are not so secret in reality as they exist in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, and the empowerment initiations to the oral tradition of Vajrayana through the Drukgyal Kagyu tradition, a traditional lineage traced back to one of Tibet's most famous yogis and spiritual poets, Milarepa. Yet it appears nobody has time for it. We must see and understand how certain things take away from our ability to climb up the ladder of excellence and peace. I call chakras our rainbow ladder, actually, you know, because your Kundalini awakening is actually very, very important for you to enjoy everything about life, everything. To enjoy life to its fullest, it's really nice to have your Kundalini awakened, because then you can experience pleasure on higher levels. Like, my head feels pleasure, you know? I hope that this happens for you too sometimes. I really do. Instead of just feeling like you gotta have pleasure below your waist, to be completely filled with pleasure is one of the most wonderful things. We must shed light upon that which puts us into states that are unfavorable or otherwise in deficit. When we confront the things that threaten or diminish our health, disrupt our peace, harm our sense of well-being, or ultimately disempower us, we are shedding light upon the shadows of not only our own psyche, but our environment and other associated external influences, so that we may reconcile with the dynamic that does not serve us. Once we find anything that is causing us harm or trouble, whether it is in our community, our family, our own thoughts and behavior, or even the words and attitudes that we are choosing, we can work out the opposite of it so that we may undo the damage that has been done. This is the logical way to grow stronger in establishing an intimate bond of communion with our divine guidance and higher power. Otherwise, how powerful is the yoga you seek to learn from anyway? Do you seek for a band-aid fix to place over your own stress, stiffness, and lack of muscle tone? Or do you want to truly deepen and enrich your overall human experience and even ultimately serve to attract and inspire others who also wish to be in a better place? Together, we can make this world a better place. It is my life's quest to assist humankind in establishing a clear understanding of the difference between the power of money and influence over others and the power potential of the human mind aligned with truth and love. That's the true love I'm talking about. True love is so powerful. It's scary. We have the power to see what harms us or causes us illness, whether it is internalized, as in coming from our own participation in a thought or a behavioral factor, or coming from an external environmental factor, such as trends of opinion or groupthink. In today's world, we are frequently exposed to things that can have a way of devastating us out of growth, health, and strength. For some reason, when I was writing this, I wanted to bring up the old saying, when life gives us lemons, make lemonade. What this suggests is transforming something that may not be so palatable or enjoyable into something that can be enjoyed on a broader spectrum by a larger demographic. Funny enough, this is exactly what has happened to industry standardized yoga. I need to grab my water really quick. It's just right off camera. Hold on. Sorry. Love me. And my water's empty. Oh, well, I got a drop. That's so funny. So we've taken something back to that, taking lemons and making lemonade. I just thought it was really funny because I just thought about it as I was revising my writing. And I was like, wait a minute. Lemons are great. Lemons are really good for you, right? And then we turn lemons into lemonade, and dude, that shit'll give you diabetes. I was trying to pronounce it wrong, and I pronounced it wrongly. Diabetes. No, so diabetes is not funny. A lot of people are getting it these days. It's really bad. It's like we're having a really bad global health epidemic on all kinds of levels, right? Mental, physical, medical, all day. So we've taken something just as a lemon that is perfectly good in its natural state, that may be better if you simply add water to it and consume it that way. But instead, we add a lot of sugar to it, and then maybe even a lot of other additives until it's no longer as healthy as it was to begin with, like not remotely. I understand adding water to lemon so that you can cleanse your liver and add alkalinity to your system. That's great. But when you add sugar and other additives to the lemon, then it's not as beneficial as it originally was in its natural state. Perhaps it looks like I'm taking this little platitude too seriously, but really it's very interesting that it even came up at all, because it's actually not as powerful as the alchemy that yoga actually suggests. Yoga is not this wonderful sugary lemonade that so many people are happy to consume. But when you tell everyone that yoga is an exercise that makes its practitioners look incredibly sexy, as long as we obsessively make the asana part of yoga its main point,